Hello and welcome back to Turning the Mirror podcast. This is where we bring you the reflection of politics and governance across our country, Kenya. And today, you remember it's a sad day for Matiang'I. Now that CJ Maraga just announced that he will be contending for presidency come 2027. Do you concur with that?
I do concur with that. Initially, when the name Maraga was trying to come out, relating to presidency, I didn't really see a lot of weight because you see, Maraga is a soft guy.
Yeah.
Very cool.
No ration in him.
No rhetoric skills.
Yeah.
And you know Kenyan politics, how it is played. And even many Kenyans tend to believe that someone who is so tough, a dictator, there is somebody who can then fix things. But then when he just declared officially that he will be running for this, did not even do it on a serious platform, like maybe out there.
Just mentioned it as
he just
something
mentioned
casual.
It on a national TV during an interview, just casually.
Yeah.
And it really moved mountains. So many people are talking about it. It has taken several hours just Maraga trending, and just for the positive things only. So looking at it, then I see kind of problems, serious problems for Fred.
And let us look at what Matiang'I has been banking on. Number one, he's been banking on the Gen Z.
The Gen Z group.
And also the fact that he's known for the tough person, the man who is tough. But again,
and even the services, when it comes to service delivery, what he did when in different ministries. He held actually 3 ministries, ICT, education, and interior.
And also the side of financial muscle, because so many people believe, and it's turning out to be factual, that he's a project of Uhuru Kenyatta. So the finances a little bit are there with him. And again, when he was coming back to the country and went to Kisii, we saw the clout and how he mammoth the people on the ground. And again, the coalition that we've been seeing linking him with Gachagua. So he could, if they chose him to be their candidate.
Then
so
financially was going to be
of course. So how are these things going to play around for him now that Maraga is in place?
So number one, you know the Gen Z, a group which Matiang'I was seriously banking on, the Gen Z.
Yeah.
If you look at this group, it's a group that is very interesting. I can again repeat on this show that yes, the Gen Z is a specific group within a specific age group. Yeah. We also have the millennials, the young population of Kenya, the Gen Z and the millennial. This is a group of young people, very skilled, educated. They take their time to do a lot of research. And this is a group that influence each other. If they decide that this is our direction, that is the direction. We are going for Mandamano, they are out there.
They're the majority.
They are the majority currently. But then, there's one again unique character of this group. They tend to look at specific things when it comes to a leader they want to support. So if only we had the other options without Maraga, then maybe we might have given Matiang'I some thoughts. But now with Maraga coming in, remember the Gen Z are saying, we want fresh blood. We want integrity. We want service delivery. We want clear track records. If you look at these things...
we get to their past.
Yes. If you look at these things, it means the Gen Z are going to try to look at every candidate with their past. If you look at Maraga with his past, you see integrity. You see service delivery.
Tough.
You see a tough guy who is very ruthless when it comes to the rule of law.
Standing to the truth.
If you look at Matiang'I, integrity, somehow questionable. Because remember, we even have corruption cases which are linked to his name, which are even within the judicial space to date. If you look at when he was the Ministry for Interior, several deaths, extrajudicial killings.
Oh, by the way, that's so serious because currently there is a lot of question, outrage.
Because of the extrajudicial killings.
Yeah, that's
true. So the extrajudicial executions might as well work so negatively on his quest for presidency, because then people will be looking at his past, looking at Rivayala, they are called Kianjo brothers. We had several, both young and old people, who died during his reign as the interior ministry. We even had some people, banditry going on and all that, in as much as he was trying to speak against it and trying to control it. Then we look at delivery, he delivered. If you look at that, in education sector, he did deliver. Of course, just within the same year, few months in office, there was no stealing.
But not within the confines of the law.
Yes, not within the confines of
some
law.
Spaces, yeah.
If you come to the Ministry of ICT, he actually did deliver in as much as he was rubbing shoulders with the owners of broadcast media, televisions and radio stations. If you come to now Ministry of Interior, to some level, he did deliver in some of the works that he was doing within the ministry. But now again, what taints his image completely is this Minister of Interior. Because even those who are not politically supporting Uhuru Kenyatta, who was his boss then, really faced his wrath. You remember Miguna, who was actually exiled? He was exiled because of political differences. Actually, he was out of the country for over 5 years, not allowed to come back. You are a citizen of this country by birth, but you are being told you have to apply. You have to apply for a passport. You reapply for a passport for you to be allowed back to your country.
Which you are even denied.
By birth, a citizen by birth, a citizen that you cannot lose.
That's true.
But now, Matiang'I ensured that that thing happened. So he's somebody who maybe because of his past, people would tend to read and say he would even turn out to be the worst compared to Ruto. Maybe he would deliver because in terms of delivery, he does deliver. But when it comes to dealing with criticism, because at all cost, even if it is a saint who today becomes the president, at all cost, the government of the day must face criticism. Because no man is perfect, and therefore as a human being, you can never do everything perfectly. So whatever you do wrong, you must be criticized.
Yeah, I can compare that to Moi. You know, Moi was this good guy, and he was doing a lot of good stuff then.
Before the 82 coup.
Yeah.
Because with him coming on board, you're right. With him coming on board, we had the Nyayo buses trying to connect every county. We had service delivery. Things were moving the Nyayo wards, and he was just interested in work. We actually did his story on our sister channel called the Satmamba Productions.
Yeah, that's true.
And remember, after the 1982 coup, which attempted coup, which just came when Moi actually was facing serious criticism from different sectors, trying to ensure that his presidency doesn't last long.
Since then, Kenyans saw hell.
That
can be compared to Matiang'I's a little bit somehow.
Yeah, he actually shifted from service delivery to now dictatorship.
Yeah.
So something like that might as well work for Matiang'I, because he might come interested in service delivery.
Because we know the people of Kenya, we must speak and criticize so much.
And you'll be criticized, people will make fun of you, and then Kenyans never take anything serious, including death. You die today, tomorrow you are a joke.
And here that he's being seen as a project of Uhuru Kenyatta. Does it also
that might as well work very bad for him. Because remember, the young people are trying to get rid of the old cocoon of politicians. And the old cocoon of politicians are the Kenyattas, the Odingas, the Mois, now the Rutos, because all these people have been trained and actually tried learning their politics during Kenyatta and Moi. And the young generation are trying to do away with that cocoon. So with Matiang'I directly being supported, because initially when his name started coming out and the Gen Z were supporting him, people were speaking of UPA. As his party. And we even saw some branding of that specific party. We even saw serious mainstream newspapers trying to write the story of how this party is being rebranded for Matiang'I's presidency. But then recently we saw now Jubilee endorsing him, and it seems he is also welcoming the idea and is set to run on a Jubilee ticket. That means Uhuru Kenyatta and the Kenyatta family are like one-on-one. And seriously in this. And therefore, when he's the president, he'll still protect the interests of the Kenyan, of the Kenyattas. He'll still protect the interest of the Odingas. Will still protect the interest of the old politicians. Because remember, as a leader who is brought in by that group of politicians, then we cannot trust that he will actually follow up on the money that was used by these very individuals during their regime. And we even have allegations that this money are somewhere outside the country, the banks outside the country. We can then not trust.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, that when he's in office, he will protect and will follow up to ensure that those monies are back in the public office. Yes.
And now that when the Kisii basket of voters, you know, that these people, like we saw the current senator of Kisii County, he's been Onyonka very vocal on Matiang'i's presidency, even working with Gachagua so that they can be, maybe Matiang'i be considered as one of their candidates. And Matiang'i, we just know he resigned from his position in World Bank so that he can come to the country back for politics, for the bid of presidency. And now that these all are happening and the Kisii block, does it mean Maraga will take all this block, or maybe Matiang'i still has an option?
He cannot take the whole block. He will take, of course, a substantial amount of votes from Kisii. But then if he gets substantial support from across the country, then he'll have the day. Remember, Matiang'i again, the challenge with Matiang'i now is his association with Team Gachagua. Because remember, Gachagua is known and was branded as a tribal chief, a villager. And he actually embraced that, and that is what is actually giving him the grounds in Mount Kenya. But in his campaigns, you remember that I've told you, in 2027 or 2026, whichever year we are going to have elections, you'll see serious videos coming out defining someone's past. When Gachagua was in this government as the DP, he was even controlling the police during the Azimio Mandamanos. Of course, people also died during that time. The cry, the public outcry were genuine then, and that is why even Azimio was seen as pro-people. Because the finance bill, the then finance bill 2023, the economy, what was going on with the economy and all that was a serious issue. And so people saw Azimio as the voice of people then, before Raila shifted camps. And Gachagua seriously dealt with them. Those clips have already started resurfacing. And so with Gachagua on this wing, then people will not really believe that Matiang'i is any different. Comparing his past, linking it to now the people, the group that he will be working with to maybe support his presidential bid, people will not really trust or believe that he will be any different. But then in Kisii, 2 years is still too long in politics. So the Kisii Council of Elders and the who and who's in Kisii
and
Nyamira, like the Kisii community, can actually, and the sub-tribes within that community, can actually still call their gentlemen, their sons to order. They can call Maraga, call Matiang'i, have them sit on a table and agree on a path they are going to follow. I will not be surprised if I see Maraga, Matiang'i on the same side when it comes to going for the presidency.
But that will also mean that one will have to drop. They cannot deputize the other because it's from one community, and the face of Kenyan politics can completely.
So one will have to drop the ambition, but will have serious say in the government of the day that is formed. If at all that wing wins the elections.
And again, that's really meaning a lot, and that we considering that Maraga is now taking the Gen Z wave, and it means when Matiang'i still stays to his call and what he says that he's going for and steadily heading there, then it will mean that he will so much depend on Gachagua if that the opposition, the united opposition, so be called, decides to back him up. He will be so much dependent on that. So they're afraid to be there.
So they'll try to convince the old generation into the tribal politics and see if they can get substantial votes from that basket. Because then I see, yes, Matiang'i will still have some wave of Gen Z, but not a big group. Maybe just a small group that believes he can deliver. But the biggest group of Gen Z will go with a wing that holds much truth, much integrity, and service to the people.
And that's really a big blow for him, because he was so even heading to the table with the likes of Gachagua, that was his position, and saying that I'll be coming with a Gen Z vote. And then it will be a big blow for him, and he will have to reconsider a lot of things. So when he will be coming back to the country after resigning from World Bank, then he will be so much disturbed, and not knowing the direction to really take. And also to our audience, I don't know what you think about Matiang'I now that Maraga is in play. Are you still siding with Matiang'I? Because a lot of people are saying Matiang'I is this guy who will deliver for us, and Maraga is also this guy who we see with the integrity he can deliver, yes, and it also depends with the people who will be partnering with, the colleagues in politics, and the coalitions he will be making. So say your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to subscribe and keep coming back to DMP Kenya. Welcome always. Thank you.